The relationship started in 2005, and like all relationships, it started as a fun thing and then blossomed into something more. We both moved to London and moved in together and went on to buy a house. It was my ex who decided that bills should be split 50-50, which at the time I was uncomfortable with as my income was lower than hers. In 2015, I started to have medical issues, which meant I dropped onto flat pay and I didn't get any overtime or shift allowances, which meant a drop in pay of around £1,500 a month. This meant after a short while that I could not keep up with my half of the monthly bills and the mortgage. It wasn't long before the bills were being missed, including the mortgage payments. The attitude from my ex was that I had to sort this out. I had to borrow money off my dad to cover 3 mortgage payments. As I started getting into more debt, my ex decided to step in and make up my shortfall. This was labelled as subsidising me. I was running out of money shortly after being paid every month, and I started to feel stressed out with not having any money, and I had a sense of not contributing to the family. Whilst I was on light duties, my ex was putting together a tender for her company worth around $500 million, and this is when things changed. Because in her words, I was being subsidised, so I should do what I am told. I was forced to change every agreement I'd made with my manager to allow my ex to concentrate on her tender bid. For 2 years, I had to do everything at home, from sole childcare, shopping, cooking, cleaning, etc. Any sense of love disappeared, and the relationship turned into employer-employee type relationship. If I did something wrong or not to her standard, she would berate or shout at me, and it got to the point in 2017 that I just hit rock bottom and made an attempt to end my life. I was working out the best time to jump in front of a train one day, and I saw a lady pushing a buggy, and the little girl walking with her next to the buggy looked a lot like my daughter at age 3. So I took my phone out and looked at the pictures of my children. It was at this stage I realised I couldn't do this to my children. The abuse didn't stop, though, and it carried on in the same vein. And she basically said, "I'm paying for you, so you must do what I say," even going as far as making me ask for permission to go out with friends. During the pandemic, she constantly pressured me to vacate the house so it could be sold. She started court action at the height of the pandemic in early January. She voluntarily moved out of the house of the family home in October 2020. And now she's playing mind games because I'm now in a position to sell the house, but now she no longer wants to sell the house. She always has to be in control and won't take no for an answer. In July last year, she decided to end the relationship. And to date, I'm not sure why, as she still won't tell me. I've not abused her. I haven't been involved with any other woman behind my ex's back. I called my manager to tell him what had happened, and he arranged for a workplace counsellor to contact me. I had 6 sessions with her. I told her what had been going on, and at the end of the first session, from the information I'd given, she concluded that I was the victim of domestic abuse. For me, I was shocked, and I didn't believe it. I also saw a counsellor privately, and she confirmed the exact same thing, and I was diagnosed as being clinically depressed. The work counsellor suggested I report everything to my GP and get him to refer me to social services. I spoke to social services and was initially referred to Transform, and then from Transform I was referred to Jigsaw4u. Yes, she is a woman who won't take no for an answer. She has to have her own way and is very coercive. She works in a mostly male environment, so she has to be forceful to get her way. She's used to people answering to her all the time, and she is very controlling and wants things exactly her way. I also feel she does not seem to be able to disconnect the workplace from the home environment. I think this is because in the past she stated that she is jealous of me because I can successfully disconnect from work and home. If she's had a bad day, myself and sometimes the children feel the heat from that, and it's not fair. If I go out with friends, she demands that she gets the same amount of time off from the children as I have because I've gone out. Looking back, it is noticeable that when I went onto light duties, including loss of income, that was the time she started to do what she did. I also had great anxieties about being able to keep my job, a job which I loved and enjoyed. I was contacted by Jigsaw4u in September last year. I was at a very low point then and was making plans for another attempt to take my life. I was told that it would be November before anything would start. And come November, I was paired with my male volunteer, and I've never looked back. I found the service a huge help, and it almost certainly saved my life. The service from Jigsaw4u has helped me see things for what they really are, from what I perceive them to be. They've helped me to concentrate on what it is in front of me as opposed to what is further down the line. For example, concentrate on number 1 before worrying about number 3. I would say don't be afraid to ask for help. I thought asking for help was a weakness, but once you do it, it becomes a massive strength. Once you scratch the surface, you realize the great amount of resources that are out there. Asking for help means that you set the narrative for your own life and you take back control of your life. You see things with a certain clarity of thought. Yes, there are certain preconcepts of men like big boys don't cry, man up, pull up your big boy pants and get a grip, etc. In the context of harmless banter, these examples are okay, but for a sufferer of abuse, they are really unhelpful. Yes, there is a stigma around men being abuse victims, but in reality, it can happen to anybody. Society is now becoming more aware of these issues, and hopefully things will start to change. I also found talking to friends uplifting. People are aware that these things happen and are happy to help, even if it's just acting as a listening post. My overriding advice is help is out there. Use it, take back control, draw strength from the help. Don't be afraid. Only you can write your own story. Yes, it's a hard road, but you will come out of it much better, stronger, more informed person.